Hey folks, thanks for dropping by the channel, RC Aviation and Crawling. Now operating out of beautiful Bend, Oregon. And we're going to pan across my brother's beautiful half-acre backyard to the little house where Jimmy and I live. Right there. Ain't that pretty? Yes, there it says Casa Mark up there in the center screen. There's Jimmy. You probably can't see him, but he's just snoozing in that chair. Jimmy's snoozing in that chair. Alright, so come back around here. So, what this here is, folks, is I've been having an incredible adventure converting this Eflite RV-7, a 1.1 meter sport plane, into a bush plane landing capable aircraft. So instead of we've gone from this here. We've gone from this here. Let's get a little closer. All right, so we've gone from that there, which because of the size of the tires and the wheels and the wheel pants, everything like that, because of that, I couldn't fly the plane as we see it right now because I can only take off from a place that has very long and dense grass. So what we did is we went, since I couldn't change the places that are available to fly, I changed the plane. So we went from what we're looking at here to what we're looking at here. Right? And there you can see both the picture on the box and the plane. We removed the beautiful wheel pants, removed those, and we removed the stock tail wheel, and we put on the big old bush tires from the Hobby Zone Carbon Cub S2, and this is the wheel from the RV-7 and the tire from the Carbon Cub S2 tail wheel. Yes. So we'll take a little bit closer look at it. There's my NX6 over there. Really like that radio. Yeah, so if we take a close look here, what this is, folks, is this is a there's the tail wheel. Bush tires. What this is, folks, is a RV-7 bush tire modification post-test flight report. Because today I had my first 100%, actually my second. Today was my second 100% 100% A#1 rated test flight with the bush tire setup. I've done 2 flights on this, yesterday and this morning, and both of those flights 100% confirmed that this setup is 100% fabulous. It didn't come fast, it didn't come easy. I had to do a lot of thinking, a lot of tweaking, a lot of test flights that didn't go as well as I wanted to, but I learned a whole bunch about the airplane in general, and I learned how to set up this plane for these tires and in the thick grass conditions, and she set up just fantastic for rollout, takeoff, flying, landing, everything. She's superb after this modification. I'm so happy about that. This plane is so much fun. Now, so I've got my low rate set up. Let's see, what should we talk about next? Let's talk about what we did. Okay, so here is the original wheel and wheel pants, right? So we're going to go ahead and just show you what we had before the modification. Right, so we have something like this. Oh, come on there, something like, no, we can do it, there we go. There we go, we did it. Okay, so what we got here, folks, is, now this grass here, my brother's, I just mowed it, and it's real short. So it's not very long. But where I take off and fly is much longer. But anyway, here's what you got with the stock setup there. That's what you got. And then here you just got these huge tires. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. So just doing a comparison of what you got. Let's see, let me get that wheel in its proper spot. That's about right. Come on, we can do this. About like this. I like that. See that? Much smaller stock mains wheel on the right, plus the beautiful pants. Just don't like to go in the grass. Okay, so what we did is so how we did this was, let's just put those down there. How we did this was, you can see right here. Now this is the interior of the one of the wheel pants, which goes. Let's see. This goes like. Is that how that goes inside? Yeah. So this originally went something like that. You know, with the small tire. This was the inside half of the wheel pants. Now you can see this right here. There was a plastic fitting that shape that was on the end of the strut. There was on the end of the strut right there. There was, if you will, a male piece the same shape as this, which fit into this female piece. This female same shaped depression on the inner wheel pant. All right. So what I had to do is saw the end of this here. Let's look here. Is that better to see? That's all right over here. Anyway, so what I had to do is just saw this. Actually, what it was is that the little piece, the male piece that looks like this, but it's male, and it was on the end of this. It was actually a separate piece, but it was glued onto the strut so well I couldn't get it off. So I had to just break it off because it had to go. And then I went ahead and sanded up in there. I went ahead and sanded this and smoothed it so it looked real good on that end. Right? So it looked real good on that end, so it looked nice. Okay, that's the first thing I had to do. And then the Hobby Zone Carbon Cub wheels and tires. Now I had to remount the hole here, the axle on the strut, rather the main strut on the Carbon Cub S2, from which these wheels and tires were temporarily stolen, actually permanently stolen. I'm getting replacements for the Carbon Cub. Anyway, I had a smaller hole, smaller strut, smaller hole, so I had to remount this hole so it'd be big enough to accommodate the larger RV-7 strut. Did that, and then over here I did a makeshift wheel keeper on her, for lack of a better term, right now. Okay, and then I made sure everything just turned and spun real freely, which it does. So that's all I had to do there. And I also put a little gear oil, a little 40 weight crawler gear oil. Excuse me. I put a little 40 weight crawler shock oil on the axles before I put the wheels on, and that is so the tires, the wheels run really smoothly on the axles and also don't make any noise. They don't chatter. We like the non-chatter. Okay, so I did that, and then I found that. And first of all, I found that I liked the looks of it. I thought and think that the looks of this is cool as heck. I love the original look on the box there, too, but I like the bush conversion equally. I freaking love it, and the plane loves it too. And then I had this little tiny original tail wheel. See, this was the original tail wheel. You can see the difference there. Quite a difference. The wheel. Excuse me, the tire here is the original tire that was on this wheel. This wheel originally had this tire on it. And so what I did is I took, so the white wheel here, the white wheel there originally had this tire on it. So I peeled this tire, it was glued on there real well. So I had peeled this tire off of that wheel. And then I peeled this tire off the Carbon Cub wheel and mounted this tire on the RV-7 wheel, and that gave us this really nice bush tail wheel, because we need it. Before with this here little guy, it was dragging and catching in the grass. You know, where's the tail wheel? I don't know. Where is it? So this upgrade here was really helpful. Super duper helpful. Yeah, there we go. So she sits real nice in the grass. And I've got it up out of the grass just so you can really see what's going on. Excuse me. All right, so what else? Okay, so let's. I'll just show you what else. I guess that's about it. The plane flies fantastic. The way I've got it set up. Okay, I've got a low rate setup, which I've totally personalized for me. And what the low rate setup is, and I'm going to show you the rates on the on the plane here in a second. But the low rates are, I've got extra low rates on my ailerons in low rate mode, which is on a switch, low rates, high rates, I got my dual rates on a switch, of course, and when I'm switching the low rates mode, then I'm getting extra low rates on the ailerons, because the ailerons are very much, this airplane has a great deal of aileron authority, which is a good thing, because it's got really big ailerons, because it's a sport plane. It's meant to have a lot of authority. And extra rudder authority, I think, too. But I'm a novice when it comes to sport planes. Anyway, so I've got extra low aileron authority when flying in low rates, because she got so much aileron authority, which I'm not used to yet that much. I've got it tamed down a bit. Got it tamed down a bit. So yeah, slightly lower than normal aileron rates as I get used to her very nice authority of aileron. And then normal low rates for the rudder, and I've got high rates for the elevator. And that's important for me to be able to get off the ground and you know, soon and in a short distance, and ditto for me to be able to slow down to land. I got to have full 100% up elevator with the bush tires set up. And so will you, I believe, if you do this modification yourself. And I hope you do, because my gosh, I'm having fun with it. Oh my gosh, having so much fun flying this plane now. I was before, but I had to crash land every time. Anyway, so what else? Okay, so then I had to adjust my CG for the extra weight and drag of the tires up front. Okay, so I think the next thing to do is to bind it up. Not bind it, but power up the plane. And oh, one other thing I'll show you is I crashed this and broke the stock three-bladed prop on here. And after I repaired the plane, she was ready to fly, except she didn't have a prop. So I thought the maul prop might work, and it turns out it works out fantastic. So right now she's got a maul prop on her, which is an 11x7, and she's got a maul spinner. And I'm keeping this prop and spinner on here because I love the way she flies with it. I just do. And then, so here's her original spinner. Yep. So we got that going on. And, all right, so we're going to go ahead and put the airplane down off the box on the ground, like this. This right here, like this. All right, so I'm going to show you my rates. Now, in this short grass, you can see how the tires sit. Now, the mains there, they're not in there very deep. Not in there very deep. I wish I had grass this short, I really do. But it's okay, she does really fantastic in long grass. If you watch my flights, you'll see. And then there's her tail wheel. There's her tail wheel right there, see? See, there you go, tail wheel. All right, so let's go ahead and, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna lean the camera against the box here for a second. And do a couple things here with this airplane. So we're gonna see if we can lean this right like that. We're gonna get a focus on the plane. Now we're focusing on the grass. There's the plane. Fantastic, okay, so. All right, so go ahead and make sure all my switches are off. They are. All right, we'll go ahead and turn on the NX6. I love this radio, folks. Okay, NX6 is on. All right. I'll go ahead and power up the airplane. Okay, it's telling me not enough voltage for flying, so it may not let me check things out, but I think it will. Throttle cut on. It's going to keep making this noise, but I should still be able to show you my rates. All right, yeah, as a safety feature, the NX6 is saying smart battery alarm. Focus. See, battery not charged for flying. I like it. But anyway, let's look at our rates here. So, throttle cuts on. Okay. We fly in experienced mode. And so we'll look at our rates. All right, so here's our low rate aileron. Up. Not up. Yeah, there's our low rate aileron. And I'm going to show you the high rates in a minute. Okay. Here's our rudder rate. Sorry about that beeping. Here's our rudder rate. Low rate. Now here's our full 100% elevator rate. Okay. Oh yeah, see? Oh baby. Okay, so we've got that. Alright, and then we've got our, so I want to show the takeoff flaps and the landing flaps. Because everything I've got here, all these things I'm showing, being set up just how they are, is making this really work for me. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps. Takeoff flaps, flaps off. Okay, we got that. What else? I would taxi demo this, but I've already done that on another video and the battery's low. Okay, now let's show the high rates. Okay, so we're going to show the high rates. We're going to do aileron low rates. Low rates. Now we're going to switch to high rates. Aileron high rates. See that? High rates, aileron. Low. Okay? So that's sport plane mode. That's I got 85% rate on the aileron. The elevator is already at 100% rate at all times. And then high rate, we got more rudder too. See, more rudder. Okay. And so there you go. Everything else is the same. Everything else is the same. Let's go ahead and unplug the plane so that we don't have to listen to that. Okay. Open this on me like this. Folks, I love everything about this airplane. I'm so in love with this bird. Now, let me set this down for a second. And lean it against the plane for just a moment. Folks, I love everything about this airplane. I mean, I've loved everything about this airplane since I got it. But I've had some real challenges. Nothing having anything to do with the plane by any means. The plane's been 100% the number one since I first started messing with her. But I've made some errors and had a learning curve, and let's turn this off now. Anyway, I've had a lot of challenges with this plane because it's a new type of plane for me. New type of plane for me to set up. I first bound it up without safe or AS3X, so it was an extra handful to fly on my early flights. But it sure taught me about how the plane flies, though. It turned out to be a good thing. A lot of things in life for me start off looking like a bad thing and end up looking like a good thing, and that's one of them. Flying this plane first without any stabilization at all, that actually made me learn more and learn faster about how the plane flies and how to fly the plane, and so on. The learning curve that I had to get the takeoff flap deflection just right, so it wasn't too much and I wouldn't have enough ground speed, or too little, so I wouldn't have enough lift. That was important. Having scale flying rates on my ailerons and low rates, standard low rates on my rudder in low rates, and full 100% elevator rates in low rates. That makes me be able to fly this really fantastic scale. At the same time, if I go into high rates, aerobatic sport mode, as you saw, I'm getting a whole lot more elevator deflection, a whole lot more aileron deflection, which is 85%. I could go up to 100, but I'm going to go with 85 for now. And I've already got 100% on the elevator, and then I've got a full high rate on the rudder as well. So with the flick of a switch, I can just start off in scale flying mode, which is my low rates setup. I can flick the switch, and all of a sudden I'm in sport plane mode with high rates for aerobatics. Yes, what could be better? And not only that, I can take off and land in grass that's about that tall and very dense. We can do it, me and this plane and the NX6. We can do it. All right, folks, that's it. That's the modification. That's how I did it. It's just fantastic now, folks. It's just fantastic to be able to bring this out to the field along with my maul and my carbon cub, and be able to take off and land just as well as they do, being able to slow fly just as well as they do. I got max landing flaps deflection on my flaps. Yet at the same time, I can go in high rates, and this thing will fly much more sporty than my my maul or my carbon cub. I mean, in the high rates, this will really fly, and I'm going to get. It's been a couple years since I've done even basic aerobatics, but I'm going to get back into doing normal roll. I'm going to get back into doing loops in high rates with this plane. I can switch into high rates just to do the loop to start off with. So whenever I'm just going to do an aerobatic, I can just switch into high rates for that and then back into low rates. But I'm going to, with this plane here pretty soon, in about a month maybe, I'm going to start doing my basic loops my basic rolls, eventually outside loop with lots of altitude, 40 mistakes high, hammerheads, and so on. Those are the things I used to be able to do, so we'll look at relearning. All right, that's it, folks. In closing, this is a fantastic airplane in every aspect. It's a very scale, in my opinion. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. That's one thing I love about the Mall. The Mall is my favorite airplane in the world, and now this one is my equally favorite airplane in the world, and in no small part because it's so scale. I mean, you take a foamy and make it look this good, this scale, it's just wonderful. It's just a joy. It's just a joy to fly an airplane this scale, and it's, and it's a foamy, which means it's affordable. So I love that. I love the way they've designed and built this plane. I love the way it looks. I love the way it flies. I love the NX6 and the plane, and the fact that you can really, really, really personalize the setup on any plane. I love the nav lights. They're so bright, and they're positioned so that you can see the nav lights not only from the sides, but from the front of the airplane as it's coming at you. The landing lights as well as the nav lights, because the nav lights are on the corner of the wing, as you can see, on the corner of the wing, so you can really see it a lot of directions. Sturdy airplane. I crashed this plane real hard. I've got a video about that. You can see the crash, actually. I got a video about that, and then after I repaired it, and I've got a new fuselage coming in a week, by the way, but in the meantime, I'm flying this fuselage, and probably will keep flying this here repaired fuselage for some time before I put on the brand new one. But after the crash and after the repair, I had a bunch of nose-overs trying to get this set up to be able to take off without nosing over in the thick grass on the bush tires, and also learning how to land and get the plane set up right for landing on the grass with the bush tires without nosing over. And I had a lot of nose-overs, and some of them were pretty hard. And this airplane just laughed at it. It's just every time it nosed over, even if it flipped over pretty hard, it would say, "Ha ha ha ha! That is nothing for the Eflite RV-7 Bush Sport Plane Extraordinaire." So it's very sturdy, and performs very well. The motor is great. Everything. Okay, I think that is it. Whether you're brand new to a plane like this or not, I think you should get one. And if you want to, you can expand the flight terrain possibilities by doing the bush tire conversion and setup that I've done. And you can still maintain your sport plane characteristics by having your high rate setup and your low rate setups set up as I've done if you want. So there you go, folks. I love this plane. I just love everything about it. And I'd like to thank you very much for your time. And I'd like to thank everybody in the community. And all right, signing off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.